Are you someone who gets too nervous to actually do any dirty talk towards your partner or your lover? Are you someone that shuts down when someone starts talking to you in a more sexual, dirty way? Or are you someone that when someone does start to speak to you that way, contraction happens into your body because you're not enjoying what is being said, but you're not quite sure how to shift and change it? If so, this video is for you. I'm Melissa Louise, your absolute pleasure advocate, and I'm here with my secretary glasses today to speak to you about the do's and the don'ts of dirty talk. And we can also change this wording of dirty talk to pleasure talk. So, as I'm like trying to adjust my glasses, I'm trying to get my sexy secretary look on and actually take them off until I start reading, because I've also got 5 different incredible scenarios for you that I've written down. I'm going to show you how to, where it's just this normal scenario and how we can shift it into something really sexy. So let's go. Let's start with the don'ts. The number one don't is don't not do it. Look, as an erotic blueprint coach, the don'ts, can get kind of sort of all mixed up into the fact of like, if someone's too nervous, they're not going to do it. Or if someone got it wrong at one stage, like they tried to, I know, working with clients where they'll share with me that they tried to do dirty, oh my God, I'm getting tongue tied, dirty talk to someone and it didn't land well. Well, as an erotic blueprint coach, the grander understanding is, well, it also depends, what is your comfortability in your blueprint? And also, what is the blueprint of the person that you're speaking to? So if you are a sexual and you're using words that really appeal to the sexual, which is just the full-on genitalia wording, and maybe it's, just a little bit hardcore, and yet your lover or partner is energetic, sensual, especially at the very beginning, in the opening of essential, it's really not going to land. But that is no reason to then never do it again. What it is all about inquiry. So the first don't is do not do it. The second don't is, just don't do it cold without, especially if you're in a relationship, or even if you're in a lovership, is like getting curious about what words to use, what your words not to use with certain partners, because not every single word that is sexy for someone is going to be sexy for someone else. It's just like how we love different foods, how we love different drinks. Just because someone's really into double espressos does not mean the next person that you're going to sleep with is also into double espressos. And yet we're not going to force them or expect them to drink that. And it's the same thing with dirty talk. It's like some words work for people really well, and that same word is going to create a contraction in someone else. It can also be that it's a contraction in a certain scenario, but it's a real open and a desire in a second scenario. Another don't is to take things personally. Just as I'm always giving sports analogies, just as, in sports, we have to train and we need to get better at a skill. So if we miss a goal, say you're doing, I don't know, like soccer or something like that, and you miss a goal, it's not taken personally. It's like, oh, what can you do differently? How can you train differently? What skill do you need to expand on to actually get the result that you want? And it's the same thing in sex and sexuality and dirty talk. What's another don't is kind of like, I guess it's part B of that is don't just, sort of unload onto someone without, unload, there's a double meaning, without, sort of checking in first of all. Like you want your experience to go really sexily, like really sexily, really sexy, and for it to land. So do some inquiry. These are fun date ideas. These are fun little like, dessert and champagne ideas or coffee in the morning ideas of how to have conversations with your lover about the things that you want to do. It's so much, it is so much, more fun to be speaking about this stuff than, so what are you doing after work? Tell them what they're doing after work. So that's really, most of the don'ts is around taking it personally, doing it like without sort of any inquiry, doing it without finding out what works, and doing it without any knowledge. That's generally, and not to take it personally. So the do's, getting to the do's. The do's is practice, There is nothing wrong when people practice their speech. If you're starting up a startup and you have to go and stand in front of all of these people to ask for money, then you're going to practice your speech. We do it for money. Why not do it for sex? If you are, you have to give a speech at your father's 80th birthday or at your best friend's wedding, you practice your speech. So why not practice? If it's something that you're not so comfortable with, practice, drop your voice, deepen the voice, slow it down. So do slow it down, do deepen your voice. If you're with your lover at the time that you want to speak, dirty to them or pleasurably with them, connect with the eyes. Require them to look at you in the eyes, and it's going to come up in one of the examples in a minute. So require them to look you in the eye. Take your time. Spend some time speaking to your partner or speaking to your lover, what words they like and what words they don't like. Now, when we go through the erotic blueprints, there's going to be words that really, really work for the energetic, and they do not land so well. Or when I say don't land so well, they're not going to excite someone that's deeply in the sexual, vice versa. Someone that's very sensual is also going to need mostly is going to need, the build up. It's going to need the building layer by layer by layer. The energetic is also in that realm of like what to start with at the beginning and then where you can go to, as things get more and more heated. And it's also, we get like, if someone's in the kink, it's like, it depends what container it is. Someone in the sexual, it's, what sort of words do they like? That maybe if your partner's a sexual and you're not, then it is, do practice going towards your partner with what they want. Because if you are trying to open them up, if you're wanting to turn them on, learning their language, this is a big do. Learning the language of your lover is really, really important. So practice, inquiry, practice either with them. Like you can go out on let's go on a date and just practice our sexy talk. It's like maybe, especially if you're long distance or you don't live in the same house, then, have a Zoom date or have a phone call date where you're not in front of each other. Like it's not as such high stakes if you get really nervous with this. Do some research, and that is research with yourself, with your lover. Ask other people, and also ask your partner if the word dirty talk lands with them. Maybe it doesn't, and ask what would land with them. Ask what would, would be more, opening for them. I was going to say beneficial. It is beneficial, but it's a bit of a clunky word to use. So in the do's, there's, there's the inquiry, there's the practice, there's the curiosity and information. There's even get to know yourself. If you haven't used a lot of dirty talk in your in the bedroom before, and you don't really know what you like, do the research. Look for all of these different words. In this video, I'm actually going to give you a whole PDF that comes from the Erotic Blueprint world that goes through different words that really work in different blueprints.